All right, so week 11 of the NFL season is coming to a close, and for the Chicago Bears, they take a pitiful loss to the Baltimore Ravens at home. In this video, just like every other game recap video, I'm going to give y'all grades for offense, defense, special teams. So, without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, guys? KT here, back at it with another video, back at it with another game recap video. Quick disclaimer, it's not going to be a fun video, especially from the grade perspective. That being said, before I get into it, just to remind you guys, I have two active giveaways going on, one for a free PlayStation Network card and one for a free $50 Amazon gift card. You're probably asking yourself, what do I have to do to get into this giveaway? Well, if you look at the top right of your screen just about now, you should see an eye pop up. Click that eye, there will be two videos there. What you need to do is you need to go to those two videos, like those two videos, comment on those two videos. That's the most important part. You must comment on those two videos so I can pick your name, and subscribe to the channel because it helps me grow content. It helps me make more content, it helps me grow the channel. I'll be announcing a random winner at the end of the month, so look out for that. Let's get into this. Just pitiful. It's just pitiful. Starting with the offense, let's just run down the total yards. It looks good on paper. They had 353 total yards, 261 passing yards, 92 rushing yards, that's abysmal. 14 first downs, that's abysmal. They had 6 penalties. They had 1 turnover, they gave up 3 sacks. But they only ran 57 total plays, that's abysmal. Let's get to the main story of the video. Justin Fields, when he was in the game, he went 4 for 11. He had 79 yards. He averaged 19.8 yards per throw. He was sacked 2 times. And he had a quarterback rating of 62.3. But the main story is his health. He left the game, midway third quarter, if I could say, beginning of the third quarter, with a rib injury. He did not return. I'm just going to tell y'all now, this has been coming for a while because he just keeps getting hit like crazy. He's taking atrocious amounts of punishment. And it's just adding up. They have him standing back there in the pocket, taking these hits. He's getting sacked too many times. Even when he gets out of the pocket, he's getting hit. The refs aren't calling it. When he's throwing the ball away, he's getting hit. So this has been building up for weeks now, since the Browns game. But I blame that solely on coaching, because why is he just standing there in the pocket? Not an unmoving target. An unmoving target is prime to being hit like that, especially in the NFL where pass rushers are looking to knock the quarterback's head off. Another thing which just went wrong is that Andy Dalton came into the game. Okay, he went 11 of 23 for 201 yards, 18.3 yards for his average, 2 touchdowns. He only took 1 sack, and he had a quarterback rating of 107.3. Let me start off by saying this. Yeah, it looked good on paper. But his first touchdown pass came from a screen pass to Darnell Mooney, in which Darnell Mooney broke 3 or 4 tackles to get to the end zone. Any quarterback can throw a screen pass for negative air yards and get a touchdown. That can happen to any quarterback. The second one was a blown coverage to Marquise Goodwin. He gave Marcus Peters a double move, which I had no idea why the Ravens were playing cover 0 at that point in the game. But Marquise Goodwin got past Marcus Peters. Andy Dalton hits him for a touchdown, which possibly could have won the game. But if you just watch Andy Dalton play, really, just analyze, and he's not bad, but the throws, he can have a good throw, and then he can have a completely terrible throw. He's not steady with the ball. The ball doesn't have the same zip when it comes out of Dalton's hands that when it comes out of Fields' hands. It's too unpredictable. This is the same thing we did last year with Trubisky and Nick Foles, respectively. But it's the same thing. I had so many flashbacks to that game against the Falcons in week 3. And, I just want to address that Andy Dalton is not the future of this team. You have a quarterback that you drafted in the first round. You traded up to get a quarterback in the first round. That is your future right there. Justin Fields is your future, not Andy Dalton. Just to put that out there. A lot of people just around watching this game I felt like they immediately turned on Fields once Dalton came in and threw his touchdown passes. Any quarterback at any time can get hot. Colt McCoy right now is showing you that. As far as rushing yards, they had an abysmal day as well. Why does David Montgomery keep getting 14 carries a game? He only had 14 carries. He had 58 yards. He had 4.1 yards per average. But why does he keep getting 14 carries a game? It's not effective to just run the ball 14 times a game just to say you did it. I mean, really, you look at this team running the ball on offense. Do you really think they're running the ball to score or set up any type of offense? They're just running the ball to say they did it. This is the same story as last year. Before the Saints game, he said we need to run the ball more. He only gets 9 attempts. This is the same thing we've been saying for the past 4 years. He needs to run the ball more. Give David Montgomery more carries. He should at least have 25 carries. He is your bell cow running back, and you don't run no more than 14 plays for him. Another thing is that play calling changed when Dalton came in. Why are you running play action rollout with Dalton? Just a thought before I get into receiving. Darnell obviously had 16 targets, 5 receptions, 121 yards. He had that big touchdown pass from a screen, but he didn't play well either because he kept dropping perfectly thrown balls from Justin Fields. Marquise Goodwin had his touchdown, but again, it's like the duality of everything. They don't run the same plays that they do for Justin Fields that they do for Andy Dalton. That leads me to question some things. Cole Kmet was nowhere to be seen. This dude had 6 catches last week, and he was nowhere to be seen. The tight ends weren't even seen until the 4th quarter. You're not going to run efficient offense by not getting your tight ends involved. He only had 12 yards and 1 catch, 1 reception. That's unacceptable. How are you running offense that way? Obviously, you had Allen Robinson hurt, but that's no excuse. You have talent on that team. You should have more. Your tight end, especially your tight ends, should have more than 1 catch. So, F for the offense, period. They didn't play well. The players kept getting penalties. I feel like there was a couple penalties that they could have avoided. Guys not getting lined up, that still is an issue. And they just weren't prepared coming out of the bye week. So F for them. Defense, let me start off by saying Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith, they get A's. Roquan Smith had 17 total tackles, 13 solo tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a pass deflection. How do you waste that? That's a generational talent at linebacker, and you're wasting him. Robert Quinn had 3 sacks? I think he has 9 sacks on the year. And he's had 2 tackles for losses. 3 tackles for losses. Wow. They wasted great games from those guys, and let me tell y'all something right now. I've spared Kindle Vildor for a long time because I like his instincts. But Kindle Vildor cannot be your number 2 corner. How do you let Sammy Watkins, wide open, no talking, he just followed another guy across the field. Sammy Watkins was wide open. And you miss him. You have the lead at that point, mind you. All you need to do is stop them on defense. Do not let them score. And you give up that big play to Sammy Watkins because you don't know your assignment. And then the previous play, you got a pass interference, a clear pass interference that you keep getting every single week. Kindle Vildor is not a number 2 corner at this point. At this point, he might not even be a bench warmer. He's not playing well. Point blank, period. To be a number 2 corner, you're going to have to at least help Jalen Johnson on the other side. Don't keep letting guys run wide open. It's the same story every week. Duke Shelley didn't play well, even though he got hurt. He didn't play well because they keep targeting. Those are the 2 weak links on that defense. It's the slot corner and it's the corner number 2. And after Duke Shelley went out, you noticed that they didn't really target that slot corner anymore. They went exactly right towards Kindle Vildor because he doesn't know the assignments. So everybody else on defense gets an F. I think Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn played well enough to where they get A's individually, but the defense as a whole gets an F because they didn't do enough and they didn't get a crucial stop when they needed it. So F on defense, but good game, Roquan and Robert Quinn. Special teams, they get an F too. Cairo Santos missed his 40-yard field goal in the beginning of the game, which was the only consistent drive with Justin Fields in the game, which was the first drive of the game. The scripted drive of the game yielded no points. You were in the red zone, the Bears got conservative, and they didn't get no points out of it. They did not have a kick return. They had one kick return, and that was Khalil Herbert. They didn't get any punt return. They had one, and they went for 4 yards. This special teams, even the special teams didn't play well. That's how bad this game was. So, F for special teams. Moving on, play calling and coaching. This is the main part of the video. If I haven't said it before, I'm definitely saying it now. Matt Nagy should be fired tomorrow. At least now, not even tomorrow, now. He should be fired now. There is no excuse for how the Bears played on Sunday. One instance is that when you're in the red zone, your rookie QB who has showed that he can run the ball, he can throw the ball in the red zone, he can fit it in tight spaces. And on 3rd and 5, you call a toss crack on 3rd and 5, which Patrick Queen blew up like he saw that coming immediately. And it yields no points. The first play out of the half, you get an illegal motion and an illegal shift. You players can't even get set. This is the same thing we've been talking about for 4 years. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback. It doesn't matter who's at receiver. It doesn't matter even about the offensive line. They're not good, but they're not that terrible. They're not scheming anything for these players to be successful. Even if Robinson would have played, do you think they would have used him right? They weren't using him at all. So, he should be fired immediately. It just keeps bearing its fangs. They took nothing from the Steelers game. Absolutely nothing. From the second half of that Steelers game, you could have took that and ran with it. That could have won you this game like that. You could have run that game. You could have took stuff from that Steelers game and put it into the game plan this week against the Ravens. But they didn't do that. They went back to the same offense that we've seen for the first few weeks of the season. Maybe even worse. Nobody was in sync. They weren't drawing plays up for anybody to get open. It's like the duality of it all, especially when Fields is in. The duality of this team is mind-blowing. And then Andy Dalton comes in. And then you start running play-action rollout. You start running the ball. It's just backwards. Everything this man does is backwards. And I know he's going to get at the press conference. He said in the press conference, it all starts with me. I've heard things being said about it's everyone's fault. But it's mainly his fault. This is 4 years. You came here with the mindset of an offensive guru. It is not shown at all. For 4 years, you have told us that you can get this offense to a respectable level. You don't even have to be good, just respectable. You are second to last in the NFL in terms of offense. The Jets are dead last, and they're not even that far behind you. That's how bad Matt Nagy has been coaching this team. How unprepared his players are to play these games. Sean Desai is not immune from criticism either, because his defense, I don't know what he is telling Kendall Vildor. I don't know what he is telling the secondary, but they can't tackle. Kendall Vildor can't cover. Duke Shelley cannot cover. Guys are getting lined up off sides. The penalties keep killing them. What are you telling I know it's hard to live up to, and as far as defensive coordinators go in Chicago, but they haven't found a solid defensive coordinator since Vic Fangio left. Sean Desai is not getting it done. He deserves this criticism that's coming his way, because it just seems like his defense is never prepared to come up with that big play. And when they do, it comes back to Nagy, because the offense can never convert on a big play, like the Tayshaun Gibson interception. They did nothing that drive when he got that miraculous interception. I thought he had dropped it. They did nothing So the ball just keeps getting punted back, and we keep going back and forth, back and forth. This is a message to the front office, and this is serious. David Kaplan from the Football After Show, if you know him, this is a civic failure, like he said. We have 2 baseball teams. We have a basketball team, and we have the Blackhawks. We have 1 football team that takes up a lot of money in Chicago. And you're putting, especially the front office, GM Ryan Pace and the owners of that team, George McCaskey, you're putting out a garbage product on that field, period. Your offense can't score more than 7 points in the first half. They didn't even score any points in the first half. What am I talking about? They had to come on a late run to get 13 points. You can't score more than 20 points a game in the modern NFL? If they don't do something about this, they're losing the city. They're going to be losing their money too. Because this is abysmal. At this point, it's becoming whether you want to run the team or whether you want to run a business. You got to have a balance between both. Right now, the Bears are just sucking up money without putting a decent product on the field. And if you know one thing about people, they don't like being falsely advertised to. Period. The front office needs to fire everybody. It is time to clean house. That goes for GM Ryan Pace. That goes for Ted Phillips. That goes for Matt Nagy. That goes for Bill Lazor. It doesn't matter who it is. You need to clean house and you need to fix that team before that kid, Justin Fields, gets in there and before you ruin him. So fix it, because you are not going to ruin another quarterback. Overall, the Bears coaching and front office gets an F. The F minus, because this has been 4 years of putridness. Period. So, whatever the Bears need to do, at least in the I know they don't fire coaches mid-season, but maybe it's time to break that trend. If you don't fire coaches mid-season, you fire everybody in the offseason. Period. And you get somebody who can fix this team. Somebody who can run an efficient offense. Somebody who can build a team around Justin Fields and what he does best. And if you can't find it, then that means you are failing to do your job. So, that being said, putrid loss for the Bears. They should have won this game. I'm heated right now, but I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you leave a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you go enter your name in the giveaway. I already read y'all the rules earlier. Make sure y'all share this video with your friends because this is impactful. Then make sure you follow me on social media. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Yeah. Peace.
Okay, there's Cubs fans, there's Sox fans, there's Bulls fans, there's Blackhawks fans, there's lunatics like me that like it all.
Yep.
We got one football team.
Correct.
One. That is a freaking joke. That all these years, all those tens of millions of dollars, all those draft picks, and that's the garbage offense you run out there. If you truly want to win, you clean house, you go get the right guy, you go find who it is, whether that's talking to the three of you or someone else. Help me, please. I'm the owner, and I'm inept at hiring. I've proven over and over I suck at it. So could you guys please help me figure out who in the F can help coach this team? I will spend the money. Let's try and fix things.